Okay, so we're here in Macau. This is called Rua de Felicidade, and I'm just gonna sit here. And the reason I'm sitting here is because it's beautiful, for one, and then you can hear the music. Can you hear that? And I'm going to be talking about the differences between Las Vegas and Macau. Chiquinha, Chiquinha. Let's go check out the room. Okay, I'm the content creator for this channel. If you like what I'm doing, just subscribe and hit the like button. Okay, so we're sitting here in Macau, just kind of relaxing. Differences between Macau and Las Vegas. They're both tourist cities, both have lots of gambling, both make a lot of revenue. And just to give you a little background, I'm in a street called Rua de Felicidade, which is basically a street of happiness, which basically is because the historical reference to this street is that there used to be a lot of sing-song girls, which were basically like Japan geishas, so you'd entertain men when they'd come in off the port. So this whole street is a historical street, and what I'm going to be doing today is just comparing between Las Vegas and Macau. So a lot of people want to know what's the differences. There's a lot of places I can definitely talk about. One of them is this is a Portuguese city, so the other one is an American city in the desert, specifically made for gambling. This one has a long history of Portuguese influences for 500 years. And now just more recently it turned into a gambling haven, known for its gambling. And maybe I'll walk around while I share this. But basically you'll see old history here, a lot of history from the Portuguese, and this is one of them. So this would have been a port where, actually if you can see that yellow building way up there, that would have been Pont 16. So that's where the ferries used to come in, and now they have different locations, two other locations that have kind of changed the city. Okay, so let's talk about, probably a lot of people want to know the casino side, so let's just get right into the casino side. Casino side, and I'm not going to film the casino today, I'm just going to film Macau and kind of talk about that. So you can see things are written in Portuguese, Rua de Felicidade, but things are also written in Chinese. And you got historical stuff like temples, you have tourists that are up there. And lots of tourists. Okay, some beautiful lanterns. It's all, I actually have those all over the city. So, okay, we're gonna walk into this area and I'll tell you about the differences between the two. So, okay. So one of the main differences, casino-wise, they make a lot more money here, apparently, than Las Vegas. I think I know the reason why. Basically, I'll try to describe it. There's a writer who wrote about kind of a gambling story, a British writer who lives in, I think it's British or, let me see, British or Australian. Definitely not American, but he, his name's Lawrence Osborne, but he's lived in Asia for decades. He lived in Hong Kong and Thailand, currently is in Thailand, and a lot of his books takes place. But he has one novel that's written in Macau, but he talks about the how they gamble here, and I'm going to share a little bit of it as well. And you can see it when I go into casinos, I can see it as well. But basically, when they gamble here, they have the concept of luck. So, like usually in the United States, it's more strategy based, but here it's more luck. So when the way they approach games is based on luck as well. So you try to ride the winds of luck. And as a person like myself, and I actually play poker. So when I play poker, a lot of times you play players that are seeming to just ride with luck. And you know, if you're a poker player, usually you play on strategy based. And there's many books in the West, libraries full of poker strategy, how to play poker in the most strategic way to capitalize on your winnings. Kind of on a little bit of a loud street, so we're going to try to get off, but it's a nice, cool street though, I like it. And we're just going to follow this crowd and we're going to navigate out of this loudness. But if you haven't seen Macau, this is a little bit of what it looks like. We'll try to find a more quiet space. So a lot of things ride on luck, and so a lot of the games are also luck based. So a lot of the games, there's just basically like you flip a card and it's pretty much random if you win or lose, and they seem to like those kind of games. But you know, strategically, I'll speak as an American person. You know, like usually we in America, you know, usually people, if I've been to Las Vegas maybe 30 times. I spent months there at a time as well, and so basically, you know, from a US standpoint, you know, usually if I'm flying into Las Vegas, you know, I'll see a large number of people reading books about how to win different games. You know, like pretty much every gambling game there is, there'll be tons and tons of strategy books all about it. I don't really see that here. I don't really see people reading books about strategy. So, okay, so we're going to be walking up and towards Sonata Square, and there's some pretty cool temple that I think is closed today. This is a wet market in here. Hello. But yeah, there's a temple right there. We're just going to walk straight ahead. So the way they approach games is totally different. It's all based on luck. So I feel like, and also like I noticed when you're in the United States, also in the gambling games, there's also a low budget tables as well. Here, not so much. Here, everything is basically like high end. So a lot of times I'll go into casinos and I'll see like the minimum bet is 500 mop, which is about 60 American dollars. So you'll see lots of tables that have these very high entry points. So imagine, you know, like in the United States, if you play poker, you can find dollar tables. Not all the casinos have them, but you know, a lot of the they'll have like different kinds of casinos. Some will have the higher end stuff, and then others will have the lower end. And there's plenty of places to play like dollar poker or dollar blackjack and things like that. And but here, not really. So here it's all kind of higher end. So basically, it's a lot easier to lose money here because let's just see. You can kind of capture where we just came from. This area is called Sonata Square. So it's a lot easier to just kind of capturing everything. So it's just kind of go around. This is the old post office here. There's a theater bar. There's a Grand Lisboa casino over there. Looks like there's some tourists here too now. I'm seeing more and more tourists lately. And then this one changes. There's another place that has these same themes. I think these are lotus leaves, I think. So I don't know, must be the time of year for lotus. But then actually that casino way over there is has a big lotus look as well. Okay, so we're gonna keep on walking and we're gonna talk more about casino gambling. So there's more things are more high end. So I feel like there's a higher chance for Macau casinos to make a lot more money off of people because the minimum bets seem to be a lot higher as far as I can tell. And then also there's like United States, they'll do all these kind of comps and you can drink at your tables and you can do all kinds of stuff. Here it just seems like it gets very serious right into business really quickly. So basically that means that here's another historical street. I don't know who's all viewing, so maybe since this is comparing Las Vegas and Macau, you might want to see some of this stuff. So this was 1569, historical center of Macau is right here, okay, and the House of Mercy right there. So you got lots of little cool streets like this everywhere in Macau. Has a very strong European historical connection originally for 500 years. Okay. I can always go down these little alleys and there's always interesting things, but I'm gonna just keep on this one, and since I don't know who my viewers are, might have some new ones who want to hear the differences between Las Vegas and Macau. Other differences is that it's not as family. It is family-ish, but not to the degree of Las Vegas. Las Vegas just has so much of everything, but at the moment Macau is I feel like that kind of lacks a little bit here. There's just not as much entertainment. There's not as much distraction, kind of diversions and distractions that you might see in Las Vegas. But I think the future is going to change quite a bit. they're building a lot on this other island. Macau just doesn't have enough land, so you know Las Vegas could keep spreading out indefinitely. Here, they've been doing a lot of reclaiming land, and then the big thing that they've been doing recently is they're making a case with mainland Macau to mainland China for Hengqin Island to be part of Macau in the near future. So if that happens, then this area will be a lot. It'll be like 3 to 4 times the size, and they're basically building all these things out there. So they're building. They have a couple of things already, but like theme park kind of stuff. So they're trying to make this whole area into a bigger entertainment district. So in the future, it probably will change, and it probably will become more Las Vegas-like in many ways. But there's a lot of things that doesn't feel like it at all. So like when I was in Las Vegas, I remember being in all these situations where there was all these buffets. So you could go to Vegas and get like a $2.99 buffet and all you can eat. I heard that that's faded away from Las Vegas, that now it's pretty expensive now, I heard. But for quite a while it was, let me just capture some of this architecture. But for a while it was like that was kind of one of the things that people would do in Las Vegas, is they would, you know, get the incentive to go there because they would comp all their hotels and then you'd get buffets. And I heard that's not quite the case, but it's definitely not the case here. So so there's some deals here, but nothing like that. And in Las Vegas, they'd also like basically give you a free airfare just to get you out there. So they would give you like big discounts on airfare and hotels. Here they don't do that. If they do, they only target towards mainland China only. And that's the other big difference too, is here they really heavily target the mainland Chinese market. They very little do they target all the other people in Asia, which is kind of strange because they're really well centered. Macau is such a well centered place, so you could have people coming in from all over Asia, from Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, Taiwan. You do have them, but mostly, I'd say like 95% of the tourists seem to be mainland Chinese, the mass majority of the time, which kind of makes sense because they're right across the border. But on the other hand, you know, there are lots of places in China is further away than lots of places in Southeast Asia. So for example, you know, Beijing, Shanghai could be, you know, 6 hours or something, I don't know, maybe 4 hours, but whatever it is. But you know, Bangkok and Manila is only 2 hours, so they could make all kinds of deals with people that are in Thailand. There's all kinds of tourists everywhere, so they could do things like that as well. So, but anyways, those are some of the main differences between Las Vegas and Macau. And I'm also just kind of showing you some of the streets of Macau. So that's the other big thing in Las Vegas. If you get away from the tourist areas, it turns into very residential very quickly. There's a rundown downtown in Las Vegas that's kind of interesting, but it's also very, I don't think people really live there very much. I think it's basically just kind of another casino district. But I think they're trying to change that. But basically here, people just really live right in the middle of everything. Which is pretty common throughout Asia. Okay, 1889 I mentioned. Okay, so anyways, that's kind of some of the differences between Las Vegas and Macau. So I'll definitely let me know if you have some other questions, and I can definitely target it more specifically. I made more of a generic one for the time being. So and I think we're going to end it up here on these murals. These are Portuguese murals that kind of celebrate the history of Macau with the Portuguese influence and arrivals. There they are right there. So it's kind of an old Macau. And there's whole murals right there. And I think I'll just end it in one of these spaces right here. All right, hope you like this one. Chiquinha, chiquinha.